Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the SHW F1 podcast. Prepping you for the week at the Belgian Grand Prix. We're going to give out some mid-season grades today as well. We're going to talk about a few people that we're choosing specifically, and then we're going to have a whole segment dedicated to how the rookies have been doing so far this season. So just to wet your whistle for that, I think we should let the ladies and gentlemen know now who we will be reviewing. So, John, I will start with you. Who are your three? Either we're going to do this as a pick three. So you can pick any combination of drivers or teams. Who are your three that you are going to grade at the midseason?
Today, I will be grading Williams, Lance Stroll, and Sir Lewis Hamilton.
That's a really nice grouping.
Did you notice that Lance Stroll, like there was some twang on it, like he was disgusted with himself?
Like there's a little stank on it.
A little bit. I think you guys will be surprised.
You feel a little dirty. I will be reviewing and grading, I should say, Nico Hülkenberg, George Russell, and I've decided to give a grade to Red Bull Racing. I was going to go 3 drivers instead of 2 drivers in a team, but I decided I wanted to have some talk time with Red Bull. So those are my 3. So you can stick around and hear that. Brady, who are your 3?
So I messaged you guys this earlier, but I want to call it a little bit of an audible. I'm going to stick with my drivers. So Yuki, Leclerc, but then I want to talk about the Kick Sauber Steak Green Machine F1 team.
Okay.
I'm in.
I'm
that. In for this. This is going to be good. So, obviously we're omitting the McLaren, Ferrari, Mercedes. The top 3 teams don't really get a grade from us in this particular show. If you want to hear about our grades for everybody, just ask us. Just call. Call my cell.
Tom's going to get blown up.
I'll be happy to talk about it.
I'll be at work and just tell him, hey, look,
I'll be happy
to
talk about it.
An important meeting where I have to talk about McLaren's grades. Yeah, Ferrari.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Well, John, why don't you kick us off then? Who do you want to talk about?
Let me start with Williams. When we think about Williams,
Hang on. What we didn't talk about was how are we going to grade these? Are you grading them on a scale of 1 to 10? Are you grading them A, B, C, D, E, F, G?
I kind of put this in my rookie review, but the way I looked at the grading scale was based off of the five general standard performance ratings. So if you've ever been in a corporate review, that's how I'm looking at it. And although
he's way more prepared
personally,
than us.
Are these SMART goals?
Personally, I don't know what comes after exceeds expectation below that scale because I've never gotten it. But A would be outstanding. B would be exceeds expectation. C is meets expectations. D is needs improvement. And F is unsatisfactory. That's the way I am currently grading.
All right.
Okay. That's good because I can mold my grades to fit that.
Okay.
I can do that.
I probably should have shared that in show prep so we were all on the same page, but no, you guys get to see the way that the cookie crumbles around here. So
what's show prep?
It's the text that we send 15 minutes before we get on that we talk about what we're going to talk about.
See, I like how here John's going to actually do grades. My plan was to just say Yuki and then be like, what do you guys think?
This is really good to know mid-recording.
Yep, Brady is flipping the script on us.
Yeah. All right, John, kick us off. Who are you grading first?
Yeah, so we're going to go with Williams. When we think about Williams, we think days of glory past, right? So 5 years ago, the team was pretty much out of Williams' control when Claire left, and then 2.5 years ago, they brought on James. And since then, it's been kind of a rebuilding, right? So last season, finished 9th with 17 points. Season before, 7th with 28 points. And 10 races into 2025, we have 59 points in 5th place. It's more points in 10 races than they've had in the last 3 seasons combined. And with arguably little help from former Ferrari driver Carlos Sainz with 13 points, currently ranked 15th, to Albon's 46 points, ranked 8th, I'm giving them an A for this season. 100 to 1 odds of them being fifth almost halfway through the season. And you could have given me those odds. I would have never taken that bet. But kind of a breakout upper midfield season with great leadership, significant upgrades. Williams is doing all the right things, and I love it.
One correction.
Please.
I believe you said a couple times in your little essay there that they're through 10 races, but we've
12.
actually had 12 this season.
Through 12. My apologies.
I tend to agree with you. I think A is a good grade for Williams. Brady?
Yeah, it's hard. It's tough to say, like, are we grading based on just pure expectations? Or are we grading based on how did they actually perform? If it's actually on how they perform, well, they're in the middle of the pack. But if we're basing this on expectations, they beat all the expectations that I would have had for them already this year. So it's got to be, and
your grade
have to be.
Your grade is your grade. We don't want to tell you.
True, but then it would be awfully boring if
we
we just went right down the first place is an A, second place is A minus, blah blah blah. No,
yeah.
So
well, and I thought about that with my grade as well, because when we look at fifth place, we never would have thought Williams would be better than McLaren. We never thought they'd be better than Mercedes. We never thought they'd be better than Ferrari. We never thought they'd be better than Red Bull. And yet here they are coming up right behind. Like, to me, that's badass.
Yeah. Take a couple of years ago and say, where do you expect them to be in a couple of years, now? I would say that they're ahead of where I expected them to be. So you got to give them a good grade. Like, you can't turn it around overnight.
They're on pace to score more than 100 points this
which
season.
is amazing.
That's miraculous almost.
Yeah.
All right. Brady, who do you want to grade first?
Can we talk about Yuki?
You can talk about whoever you want, buddy.
This is your
it's
segment.
my show, right?
The floor is yours.
All right. So Yuki took over, if I got this correct. This was week 3, right? At Monaco? Was that or not Monaco? I mean,
no.
Not Monaco. What was the third week?
Japan.
It was Japan, because that was a home race for him and they were expecting miraculous things.
Okay. So I don't have like a sample size where I can say, how did he do in the old car versus the new car? I don't have like a huge sample size, but we have like years past what that looked like. So the question now is he under or overperforming for the Red Bull car? And I feel like I'm getting into a review of Red Bull rather than Yuki. I mean, I can't give Yuki like a great grade. Obviously, he hasn't done well, but did he meet the expectations of what that car is? I can't say that he did, but I can't give him an F. I mean, that car is garbage and everybody seems to be struggling with it. So I want to give him like a C, but I don't really know how I feel about that grade.
Well, it's your grade.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to give him a C.
So you don't.
So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to ask what you guys think.
You're going to take a stand.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done better in that car than the other drivers have done in that car this season.
I mean, of the one example, yes, and in the last season, yes. But then going back a couple of seasons, no. But was the car better then?
Nobody's between Daniel Ricciardo and now. Nobody's been better than Checo.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Correct.
Checo is the measuring stick since Daniel Ricciardo. I understand what you're saying. And I don't have to. We don't have to sit here and give like a rebuttal or an example of our grade for each one of these. So
I object, sir.
Yeah, you give Yuki a C. I appreciate that.
Cool. Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Good grade, buddy.
All right.
I'm going to start with Nico. So Nico is currently in 9th place with 37 points. His first podium of his career was most recent British Grand Prix. He has more top 5 finishes, 2 this year, than everyone below him in the championship. So 10th through 21st has 1 podium finish combined between them. Or top 5. One top 5 between them. And he has 2 of them. He is currently riding a streak of 4 consecutive points finishes, and the last time he did that was 2019.
Wow.
He is averaging more points per race in the last 4 races than both Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen.
In a Sauber.
Yeah. In a Sauber. I think I see where this is going.
I don't see how I can't give him an A, and I just wanted to sing his praises a little bit. So I just wanted to throw some stats at you and say he gets an A from me. Move on.
It has to be. Right?
I like it.
Yeah, it's got to be. John, what was our grades? So what was what's meets expectations? What's exceeds expectations? I can't remember.
So meets is C,
Okay.
exceeds is B,
Okay.
outstanding is A.
Yeah, it's got to be between outstanding and exceeds. I mean, I would say that that's outstanding.
Yeah. Outstanding.
Yeah.
John, who's your next one to grade?
We're going to go with Lance Stroll, the most hated guy in F1. His daddy owns the team and nearly
The most hated guy in F1 on this podcast.
that. Well, I think in general, based on the number of memes that I see on Instagram, I think no one likes him. And pretty much everybody believes he doesn't deserve a spot. But does he? I know that this shouldn't be like the driving force in his mid-year grade, but it kind of is. So to recap, Stroll is in 12th place with a total of 20 points currently. So how does
that
this
actually surprises me when you just said that he's in 12th
Mm-hmm.
and has 20 points? I'm thinking to myself, where on earth did those 20 points come from?
He is like forever that meme of like The Office where the girl shows up behind Dwight. How'd you do that? Like every time I don't.
Angela?
Yeah, Angela. I don't understand how you look up his points. I expect him to just be 0.
Wait a
And you're like 20. How did you do that?
How did you finish in the top 10?
Weird.
20
Go
points.
ahead, John.
Well,
Continue.
and then think of like seasons past, right? How does this compare? So in 2022, 15th place with 18 points. 2023, breakout year for Aston Martin. So he finished 10th with 74 points. 2024, 13th with 24 points. So if we're looking at pure numbers, he's on pace to outperform last season and really his median performance for the past 3 years. Also outperforming his teammate, Fernando Alonso.
That's the shocker.
Yeah.
That's, to me, that's one of the big things. So what I find kind of a little bit noteworthy in determining a grade for Lance is it's the first season since 2020 that he's outperformed his teammate. And in 2020, do you know who he was racing against that he was not, or that he was outperforming at that point in time?
Was that Vettel?
No, it was who you
No,
just
it was
gave an
pre-Vettel.
outstanding grade to.
It was Nico.
It was Nico.
Wow.
So in 2020, he was racing with Nico, and that was the last time that he was outperforming a teammate. And since
They were
then,
both in Force India then, right?
They were.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Okay.
They were both in Force India, and since then he's been beaten by Seb and Fernando pretty consistently.
Well,
So
those are-
kind of a lot of season left, but based on where we're at today, I kind of struggled with between a C and a B. So I'm giving him a C plus.
Ugh.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I mean, based on what you just said, I was expecting a B.
I can
was
be talked
expecting-
into a B for him.
I don't think that he exceeds the expectations. I mean, that car is junk, and he's not exactly lighting the world on fire.
But if the expectations are like you should be close to Fernando,
Yeah.
and he's beating Fernando, then I kind of think of it like that's a pretty emphatic exceeds expectations. But that's just
Is that going to be our tagline for this episode? Lance Stroll gets a B.
Lance Stroll emphatically exceeds expectations. That's the title of the episode.
It's 4 points different. So it's not like he's got double the points of his teammate, but he's still 12th.
I mean, by definition, that is exceeding his teammate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, this doesn't have to be a point of discussion. We can just move on. This
Just
is great.
clinical.
So
Lance Stroll, if nothing else,
Actually,
is
you know what?
clinical.
let's take a quick break and we'll come back with Brady's next grade. Hit me, doctor.
All right. Since we kind of already talked about Hulk, let's just rip this Band-Aid off and we'll go right to Sauber. Kick, steak, F1, green machine. So looking at the constructors right now, we are sitting in 6th with 41 points. Going into this season, I believe we had some conversations where Sauber was like, there's no way they're getting like 10 points. Like they're god awful. And here we are 4 times that, halfway through the season, absolutely crushing it and on an upward trajectory right now. That can change really fast, but you've already banked a lot of points. I cannot see how you can't give them an A at this point.
If I gave Williams an A with very little expectation of performance this season, Sauber would have to also get an A because they were at the bottom of our list.
Yeah, that's the way I feel.
For the record, the over-under for stake this year was 15.
Okay, so I was a few
Yeah.
points off.
And all of us
Far
took the
exceeding.
under.
We did. I was going to say we
Far
took the
exceeding. Okay.
All of us
Did-
took the under.
I got to go back to that episode because I bet a bunch of us were saying, "Oh, this is the easiest money I've ever heard of," and we all lost our shirt.
Yeah. Didn't hit that one.
In our defense, though, everyone, including Vegas, got it wrong. So
Well, all right.
it's a Cinderella story, really.
Sure. All right. This is my audible. So I was gonna grade George Russell, and I still will. But in grading George Russell, I'm going to compare him to the most rumored replacement for him at Mercedes.
Which you've seen has been like completely denied now, right? Toto came out today
Sure.
and said
As of today,
2026,
Yep.
we're set. These are our drivers.
I'll believe him when it doesn't actually happen.
If we look at the last 12 races of 2024 and the first 12 races of 2025, okay?
Okay.
George Russell's points per race is up by 1 full point. He has a 43% podium rate this year, 75% of races top 5 finished, started the season with 6 consecutive top 5 finishes, and he has 1 race win. Conversely, Max Verstappen, his points per race is down from second half of last year by a full 1.5. George Russell, 43% podium, Max Verstappen, 50%. George Russell, 75% top 5 finishes, Max, 75% top 5 finishes. Max has 2 wins, George has 1. So I look at that and I think we all sit here and think that Max is just driving the pants off that car, which he is, don't get me wrong. But I feel pretty strongly when I look at this and I put them side by side, it's like these are the 2 top guys who aren't driving for McLaren. And even though Max has more points right now, the trend seems to be that George Russell's stock is improving. I don't want to give him an A, but I really think that this is a solid B.
So like the joke all year for George has been does nothing, gets third. And it's the does nothing part is because he's just kind of quietly doing his job, right? Like qualifies well, races well, finishes well. And there hasn't really been like a ton of drama. I mean, the drama seems to be with everybody else. So if he's not causing problems and he's not doing anything stupid on the track, no one's really paying attention to him. So it's hard to be like, I'm really excited about this, but like he's doing his job. I mean, at minimum, it's got to be, well, I guess meets expectations is a C. It's definitely above that. I think he's doing better than that. I can't give him an A because I think his expectations are too high already, but I'm with you. I think a B, B plus, maybe even an A minus.
Yeah. My only thought is the reason I feel like, the does nothing piece, right?
Yeah.
It's also because the races that he's been consistent and performed well in, I feel like he's driven very lonely races. Like he's not battling. There's nobody around him. He's comfortably slower than the McLarens, and he's comfortably faster than whoever is behind him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In those most of those races. I think 75-80% of the races, that's what you see. It's just he's in a comfortable spot of clean air where he can't catch the car in front of him and he's not battling. There's nobody catching him from behind.
I can
It's
agree
just
with
As
that.
much as we hate on him, every team on the grid outside of McLaren would kill to have him.
Yeah.
He's a great driver.
Maybe Ferrari. McLaren and Ferrari seem pretty set with their folks.
You haven't heard my review of Lewis yet, so just wait.
I understand. So I'm sorry that was a comparison review for George Russell's grade for the midseason, but I do feel like it was relevant to put him to. It was relevant to put him up against the defending world champion. Like,
no, I have no issues with that.
I think it's relevant though because I don't think like this isn't where we're giving people assignments and everybody can exceed. This is a sport. There's going to be winners and losers, so your grade is going to be relative to other drivers too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, John, you got one more?
Take us home.
I do. Let's go with Sir Lewis Hamilton. So where do I begin with Lewis? We can start with taking into account him leaving Mercedes for Ferrari, but not really sure anybody's going to blame him for that because it is Ferrari. Unless you've ever been within 15 feet of their paddock, seen their race strategy in action, or witnessed numerous pit stop fails. But that's more of a last year grading issue than a this year grading issue.
Yeah.
But
and in fairness, Lewis made this decision in February of 2024.
Yeah.
This is true.
So he's reaping the benefits of that decision 18 months later. But go ahead.
Okay. So then let's just focus on this season. You're 16 points behind your teammate, even though you've had 3 more podiums. Your complaining has gotten worse and worse and worse, but a lot of that is due just to Ferrari. And you are out-qualified and outpaced consistently by Charles. So, I don't know. For anyone else joining a team, we might call this a solid performance. But for him, he's no closer to his 8th world championship, and it's not looking any better. And so I think that decision kind of plays a part in how we should grade him for this year. With that, I would give him a D.
I do have one bone to pick with your stats.
Is it the number of podiums?
It is.
Okay.
Lewis has not stood on the podium this year.
Has he not stood on a podium this year?
No. Leclerc has stood on the podium 4 times.
This is right.
You are correct. See, this is what happens when I try to find
Would you
some
like
data.
to change your grade?
No. No, because the number of podiums now becomes even worse. He's still 16 points behind and now hasn't had a podium.
Yeah. I just
So now
from
it's
what
like-
you said
now it's even
earlier, I
worse.
thought you said he had 3 more podiums than Leclerc.
I'm wondering where
If you
I got
look
my
at just
information
sprint
from.
races, you're closer.
Well, I was looking at all races, but whatever. You
I think
know
he
how
was just
hard
counting,
it is to go
I think
back?
he was just counting how many times Lewis crossed the start-finish line ahead of Leclerc.
It might have been.
At any lap on any
Yes.
race.
Yep.
That
Maybe
was
you
it.
guys can enlighten me, but having to go back through the F1 site and then go race by race to gather this information is kind of a pain in the butt.
No,
sometimes.
honestly, so I've done this a few times where I'm like, last minute, I'm like, I haven't thought about what I'm going to say this week or what I want to talk about, and I'm like, you know what, I got to pull up some stats, and you go to the site, and there is just nothing. Their site is just not helping me, right? It's
No.
come on.
And listen, in my defense, we're not coming here for correct information. We're coming here for opinions.
True, but they could help me out, right? Like
Luckily,
their
Tom
job is to
will
give me the
keep me
stats. My
honest.
job is to give you opinion.
Yeah, this is true. Either way, Lewis is getting a D from me.
Fair enough.
All right. Brady, who's your next grade?
Well, we're going with a teammate, so we'll go with Mr. Leclerc. So Leclerc is sitting in, what is he at right now? Where are my standings? I had this 5th. He is
5th place, 119
Yeah, he's
points.
16 points ahead of his teammate, so he's beating his teammate. But then there's a pretty sizable gap to George in 4th. And I'm trying to base this on what are the expectations? And every year the expectation for Ferrari is they're going to win it. It's got to be their year, and then they never do. So what's the realistic expectations? I don't know, but it can't be this. They just don't seem to be performing nearly as well as they should. So if we're going on our scale of meets expectations or below, I don't think they're even meeting the expectations that I had of them. I think that they weren't going to win. I didn't necessarily expect that they'd have to be in 2nd or 3rd or something, but they're not there. They're clearly the 4th team out there right now. So maybe not clearly. I mean, I guess Red Bull is kind of up and down too, but I don't know. I got to give him a D. I just don't think he's meeting the expectations. I don't think the team is meeting the expectations. Harsh, but fair.
So Ferrari
The
gets a
team
double
is
D.
second
I think so.
in the constructors.
Yeah, but the drivers can get double Ds.
Yeah, this is true.
You can still be
That's
in
only
second
'cause they're
place
famous Formula One drivers.
and get a D.
Yeah, I mean, actually, this is a good point. Are they cannibalizing each other? I don't know. I'm having a hard time kind of grading their when I said I want to do Leclerc, the first thing I thought was, well, let's pick maybe one guy at the top, one guy in the middle, maybe one guy at the bottom,
Mhm.
whatever. You guys had grabbed a couple guys already, so I'm like, I'll grab Leclerc. And then as I started to think about it, I'm like, this is kind of hard to give him a grade. I don't feel comfortable giving him a B, maybe a C. D feels better, maybe.
I think Ferrari is in second because aside from McLaren, every other team only has one consistent driver.
That's fair.
So even if you think about it, like Mercedes, George is consistent, Kimmy's newer, he'll score some and he won't. We look at Red Bull and it's all on Max. We look at Williams, it's been all on Albon. We could look at Sauber and it's been a little bit more of a mix, but hell, they only have 41 points to McLaren's 460. So when you have Charles and you have Lewis, and both of those are extremely capable drivers in what should be a fairly decent automobile, you can't get any better than second, which is what we talked about with Checo, but they should be a hell of a lot closer to first. There should be way more gap between Ferrari and Mercedes at this point when you have Charles and Lewis driving.
Let's put it this way, though. So, and maybe this is a little bit more of a grade on Ferrari, but I would have expected them to bring a fight more to Mercedes this year, and they're just not. Even I understand that they're higher in the constructors, but that's because they
12 points.
Both of their team or teammates are performing versus just one. But when you watch the car on track, it's not necessarily there, and I don't see the usual flashes and specifically from Leclerc. Usually Leclerc is like qualifies first, finishes third or something, right? That was kind of the MO last year. That's just not happening this year. That car is just, he's not doing what he typically does.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. My last grade, and then we got to talk about rookies. I'm going to grade Red Bull Racing, currently fourth in the constructors.
This is going to be tough.
I think barring a miracle, they're not going to track down Mercedes. So fourth will equal their worst finish in the past 16 seasons. They have fired their team principal midseason after 20 years together.
Oof.
They have a car that we have talked about ad nauseum that only one driver can succeed in. Even for that driver, the car is getting harder to drive and is less competitive overall.
Yeah.
And even though they say no movement is happening, there's still rumors swirling around that star asset is leaving the team. And he still might. He might not go to Mercedes, but he still might go. He might go somewhere.
Even if he stays, what do they do with the second seat? Who's clamoring for that seat right now?
It's such incredible levels of turmoil that a team that won the Constructors' Championship 2 years in a row?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They won the Constructors' Championship 2 years in a row, came in third last year, and still had a driver's champion. This is a fart and fall down F.
Yeah.
You can't give
it can't be anything else.
Nope.
I mean, just go back a year and a half, and they're coming off of what came within a whisker of winning every single race of the season, which is insane.
Yes.
And now,
look
where we're at.
Yes.
Yeah, it's got to be enough.
That was my grade of Red Bull.
The end of a very good team, at least for this season. We'll see what happens next season.
Honestly, like the most frustrating thing about this whole situation, but simply the fact that they now have two mediocre teams, and it looks like that's probably going to be the case in the foreseeable future, unless something miraculous happens next year with the regulations change. It's dumb for one owner to have two mediocre teams in this sport. It's dumb for it's dumb for an owner to have two teams, period. But now that they're both mediocre, what are we doing here?
If it's any consolation, I used to disagree with you on this, but this season...
It's not any consolation.
Well, this season, my viewpoint has changed, especially as we're trying to we want to see Cadillac come in and Audi take over, and we want to see competition take place, and having them with two teams does not breed any competition whatsoever. It's like having an F2 team and an F1 team on the same grid.
I don't like it.
Nope.
All right. Quick break, and then we'll talk about rookies. All right, we got to make this quicker. We got to plow through these guys. That didn't sound right.
I was going to say.
Forget I said it.
Let's plow through these rookies. And then give them a duty afterwards.
Yeah. I'm just going to say my grade in a little one sentence, and then
that's all. I have one sentence for each of them and a grade.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay.
I'll start. Kimi Antonelli, I give him a B. He had an incredible start, been kind of crappy since, except for the podium in Canada. But I do think that he's putting together a pretty strong season.
Yeah, exceeds expectations.
I gave him an A.
Ooh,
Seventh
John
place. 7th place, 63 points, leading the rookies currently. Outstanding, by far the easiest one to grade. He gets an A.
Okay.
Show me
All right.
another rookie that's come in and done this recently.
Well, then you just wait.
I will wait.
I'll go to my next rookie.
Yep.
It's Isaac Hajar.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I gave him an A-, and I know we're not really grading with minuses and pluses, but A-, he's never been eliminated in Q1. He's reached Q3 almost 60% of the time. He's had points finishes almost 50% of the time. He's been poor the last 3 races, and that's why I gave him the minus. The last 3 races, recency bias, it's like, you're not trending well right now, but you came out of the gates and impressed the crap out of me.
I'm going to give him an A. Especially considering that his first race, he didn't even make it to the starting line. So
yeah.
I was really concerned for him, but he has shown that he can drag a fairly mediocre car, maybe even worse than that, to pretty good finishes. Means that you got a long career here. So I think he's done outstanding.
John.
A from me. Consistent is the best word to
Nice.
describe this guy.
Right.
Nice. Liam Lawson, demoted from Red Bull.
Mm-hmm.
He can't drive the RB any better.
Mm-hmm.
He has a 33% DNF rate
Mm-hmm.
and only 2 points finishes. I struggled with a low grade. I went with a D.
I gave him a C. He gets he gets a small pass for getting fired from Red Bull after 2 races. I think because it was not necessarily his fault. It was more the car's fault than it was his fault. And so then he ends up moving teams. He's got 12 points, 16th place. I think for a rookie who's been kind of tossed around the grid a little bit, I think he's meeting the expectations when I compare him to the other rookies that are currently driving. Not to the other drivers, but to the other rookies.
So for me, go ahead, Tom.
I was just going to say, based on the expectations we had at the beginning of the season, based on what he showed us last year, I think you're absolutely wrong. I think the expectations are not being met, and I think you're ridiculous for saying that they have been. But go ahead, Brady.
And you were welcome to those. You were welcome
those opinions. Yeah. Okay, so he didn't do himself any favors, I think, with his attitude, but I kind of appreciate him trying to come in like aggressive, like I want to stake my claim here. But he got stuck with 2 bad cars. So I don't want to just blame him, give him like, okay, it's all your fault. This sucks. You get an F. No, I'm going to give him a D. The problem here is that he's had 2 bad cars, but he's shown me nothing in those cars where there's like a flash of brilliance. Like, give me one.
So let me stop you.
Okay.
And let me make sure that we are on the same page here, because when you say he's had 2 bad cars, we can all agree that Max Verstappen can still make that Red Bull.
Okay, is Liam Lawson Max Verstappen?
No, but my point is that Hajar, we just talked about, got an A in the RB.
That's why I gave him an A.
He's making that car do things that Liam Lawson can't. So Liam Lawson has been in 2 different seats in 2 different cars, and the other drivers in those cars are making things happen that he's not.
I gave him a D. Johnny, see how he's getting mad at me for giving him a D?
I'm getting so mad.
Didn't you also give him a D?
I gave him a C. I gave him a C. And primarily because if we look at the other drivers, you've got one that's completely out of F1, one that has 0 points, and the other 2 have 4 points and 6 points. At least this guy has 12. At least he's scoring points. He's ranked higher than all but 2 of the rookies.
I respect but disagree with your opinion, but I can't give him an F. I'm going to give him a D. I'm going to agree with Tom on that, but then get chastised by Tom. So here it comes.
Let's move on. I need my blood pressure to
very passionate about these rookies.
No. Ollie Behrman, 3 points finishes. He's finished between P8 and P12 in almost 60% of the races, which to me says something. He has had 3 straight P11 finishes. And in those same 3 races, Ocon, his teammate, finished P9, P10, and P13. So at least he's kind of right near his teammate. I gave him a C. I think he's meeting expectations.
I give him a C. His point total isn't great, but he's had points finishes. They're always just like 1. And that's the problem, is that he hasn't had that Hulk flash, moment. But he's not 16th, 17th, 18th, and while you don't get any more or less points, 18th or 11th through 18th or whatever.
He's being competitive.
He's being competitive, and it's just not showing. And the Haas is kind of a tractor, so I give him a little bit of benefit of the doubt. So C, yeah.
I gave him a C as well. I think we
All right.
expect more given the flash from his one Ferrari race for Carlos and some expectation coming into this season. But to y'all's point, he isn't a Haas, but so is Ocon, and Ocon seems to be doing fairly well this season.
So for Bort, I had really low expectations. I thought he had a really rough start to the season. He only finished higher than P14 twice. He's also had 3 DNFs. But I still gave him a C.
I did too.
I don't know how I feel about
Make
it.
it 3 because I did too.
I think his rank and his points don't show the pace that he actually has, and he's had some really great overtakes this season. He's driving a terrible car, but I think he's doing really well with what he has.
He's driving a 6th place car, John.
Well, 6th place based on a lot of points in one race, right?
This is true.
If we're talking about bad cars, let's get to the last 2 rookies here.
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
get there. But so in particular for Bort, comparing him to just what we were saying about Ali, he's had several points finishes recently where he's getting 1 point. So you're competitive again at the end. You're on the right track up. So I can't say you're failing. You're at least turning around. He's like the one where at the beginning of the season we called him in the principal's office. We put him on notice, like, hey, academic probation, and he's turned it around. So you got to see.
Instead of calling him Bort, can we call him Gabo?
All right.
I don't
Second
know.
half of the season is Gabo.
Gabo. Because
He's
Bort
earned a
was
new
whenever
name.
well, Bort was whenever he was failing, and it was always like Bort. And he's on the upswing, and so I feel
So
like
now
he
he's
needs a
Gabo.
new name.
Yeah.
And Gabo seems to inspire me a little bit more than Bort.
Yeah.
All right. Colapinto. Hasn't finished better than P13. F. Actually, I had him down here as an E. I know that's not a grade we're giving right now, but I had him down as an E.
Man, it's so bad. I had such high expectations considering how he's done, last
had
year
high
coming into this
hopes.
year. Yeah. And I know, again, Alpine is god awful. But
They're what the French call les incompetents.
yeah, I mean, at least Pierre's got some points and Colapinto hasn't got
Yeah.
any points. So what are we
Pierre
doing?
finished P6 in Great Britain.
Right, exactly. So it's just not going well. It's an F.
F.
Sorry. F.
And
For
the reason
Franco.
I gave Colapinto an E is
Mhm.
because I gave Doohan an F.
That's
That's
fair.
the only reason.
He gets
'Cause
an
I
incomplete.
mean, Doohan got an F because he had nothing better than P13, just like Colapinto. But the
Yeah.
difference is Doohan had 2 DNFs out of 6 races. So
I like the incomplete though. That takes me back to the old high school days. You have
he's missing
incomplete-
assignments.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an F1 driver who never figured out how to brake properly.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't help.
Well, that was good. Those were our grades for the midseason for the rookies and, our little pick 3 drivers
Ooh.
and teams.
Can
Yes.
I call a quick audible? Who's our
Oh,
overall
God.
rookie duty for the first half?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
I think he's
off the
asking
cuff.
all of us.
Are
Yeah,
you
The
asking
royal
for
we.
statistics?
Yeah, no, the royal us here. Who are we giving a rookie duty to? I think obviously it's down to 2. It's Kimmy and Isaac. So
Yeah.
I know who I'm going with.
I know who I'm
I asked the
going with
question,
as
so I'm
well.
gonna say Hajar.
I'm also going to agree with you. I think Kimi has he has an advantage driving for Mercedes, and
Mhm.
Hajar has done more with less than Kimi has.
Yeah. This doesn't take anything away. I like Kimmy. I really like Kimmy.
I think it's
but-
extremely close in
yeah.
the
Oh yeah.
in the duty of the half year.
Yes.
The half
is a
year
very
duty
close
is
duty.
very, very close race. But I tend to agree with you guys. I think by a nose, Hajar's ahead.
All
But-
right.
This will be an interesting second half of the year to see if someone can separate themselves
Yeah.
at the top.
Hey John, do you know where Isaac's from?
Hold on, let me think. Hajar.
He doesn't know.
I
Oh,
know,
God.
right?
I don't know.
There's a
Where's he
reason I'm
from?
asking you this question.
I don't know.
Yes,
Where's
there's
he
a
from?
reason he's specifically asking you this question.
Is he from Louisiana?
Try again.
No. I don't know. Where's he from?
Your second favorite place on earth.
Is he French?
Yeah. And I have
How do you
ruined the
not
rest of the
know
season
this?
for John.
You know, maybe I'm going to get in trouble from this, but I thought he was like Middle Eastern or something.
Oh my god.
He looks
Whew.
Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
It's a little misleading in the European Union, if you will, because there are a lot of transplants and people have moved to different countries and had kids there. Actually,
So I'm more
John.
speaking to his ethnicity versus his nationality.
This is correct.
Yeah,
he doesn't have a
but-
traditional like French name, I guess you would say, right?
Or a French look, but neither does Esteban Ocon.
Very true. Yeah.
And he's
No,
French.
but I met him during Drive to Survive and heard his accent and immediately hated him. So
I love how Leclerc gets a free pass here, even though he's practically French.
yeah, but he's not. He's Monegascan, and there's a big difference. You should know. You've been there.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the same French aura that the
Je ne sais quoi.
that the other two French drivers have. So I like him. He's all right.
Something that the French call, I don't know what.
Yeah.
All right. 3-pointer time for Spa Francorchamps.
Mm-hmm.
John, you got to lead us off here. You're leading the championship. What is your 3-point pick?
A McLaren driver, one of the two of them, will not make it in the top 5 by the end of the race.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
My 3-pointer is that Carlos Sainz will finish in the top 8.
Come on, Carlos. Let's go.
I mean, the funny thing is, based on history, I don't want to be like, come on, how can that be? And then you look at this year and you're like, yeah.
Mhm.
I give that to you. Easy.
Brady, your 3-pointer.
A Ferrari win.
Whoa.
After all
bold.
of the grading hate
Whoa.
that we just gave them,
That's why it's a bold prediction. I didn't say
It
that
is bold.
I necessarily think that it's going to happen. It's more like a wish, I guess.
Brady's got the spicy marinara. He's ready to
That's right.
make some pasta tonight, baby.
Good grief.
This gives me something to
Okay.
root for. You guys
Yeah.
pick because you want to win. I pick because I want to have fun on Sunday.
That's because you're in last place, Brady.
That's also true. The worst is
Anytime I'm in last place, I'm just making fun picks too.
it's going to be one of those things, though, where, like, Tom, you know how you picked a few that they're over on Saturday? Very easily, this could be over in the first 2 laps. And I'm just like, yep, that ain't happening.
All right. That's good for us. Gosh, this was a long episode.
Sure was.
But it was good. Good rookie grades, good mid-season grades, good 3-pointers. We're going to watch the race this weekend. We're going to come talk about it next weekend. Returning next week, the triumphant return of the 15-second race review.
Oh, yeah.
The return of the Rookie Duty Award. It's going to be a big, big show next week. So
Oh, and
look
we've got
forward to
sponsors
that.
next week as well.
Oh, that's good. I was wondering when the next sponsor
Yeah.
would reach out. So that's
Just
good.
booked a new sponsor, so should be good.
Amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening, and we will check in with you next week.